World War I ended with the Treaty of Versailles. It ended the war against the Allies. It was signed in June of 1919. The Germans signed on the dotted line. They had to pay for starting the war. They reduced their armies. Their air force was no more. The treaty made Germany surrender their land. The German economy now lay in ruins.
After the Treaty of Versailles, there was nothing but depression. They tried to stand up, but there was a lot of hesitation. We had no money, we couldn't take it no more. With no bread and no table, we were dying alone. I love for telling this one dude got our attention. He seemed pretty right in what he was saying. He offered us jobs and a lot of hope. He started building an army to get more and more strong. He was controlling the whole country like the boss. We thought he was right, but he was really wrong. The only thing that he was causing was another war.
Stalin grew up in a small town, extra heavy. Soon he left to become a revolutionary. 1917, the Tsar was taken down. Civil war started and Russia started to drown. Stalin led a few armies to victory. Joseph got a job as a secretary. Soon he would run for office and mostly won by destroying his enemy, number one. Lenin got scared and sent a letter. Stalin ignored it and simply got better. During his reign, he wanted to industrialize. Joe would become corrupt and started killing. Anyone who opposed him would be killed too. No one who went against him would ever survive, at least not in a gulag too long.
Benito Mussolini was a fascist dictator. He promised the people freedom and peace, but they didn't get none of these. He was also a leader of the fascist party. Mussolini also allied himself with Hitler, relying on the German dictator to prop up his leadership during World War II, but he was killed shortly after the German surrender in Italy in 1945.
Hitler started to rise in power by speaking in taverns, and everyone started to understand that Hitler was starting to make a stand. His rise came more people, which made him happy but a little antsy. The chancellor stopped by giving him a position, but he said no, and they started to frown. He started to use deadly force, and they finally gave him a position he wanted.
Germany was embarrassed because the Treaty of Versailles being told they can only have a limit of supplies. That's when Hitler took a stand. Germany followed his command. They began building up their army and started invading other lands. The Rhineland in 1936, Germany army entered the Rhineland in March 7, 1936, and Germany claimed the treaty was hostile to them, and Hitler used this as an excuse to the German troops into Rhineland.
Japan invaded China and went to Nanking. The government thought they could keep their people safe, but they raped the women and killed the elderly and children too. After the massacre, thousands lay dead.
In 1938, for the second time in years, the Nazis planned to take the Austrian government by force. On March 12, 1938, Nazi troops marched into Austria to unite both nations for the Third Empire.
The Munich Agreement settlement was finally reached. All these countries tried to make peace. Germany, Great Britain, France, and Italy, they all agreed. In May of 1938, Hitler was drawing a plan for he could take Czechoslovakia and not keep the peace.
In 1938, Germans living in the border areas of Czechoslovakia started to demand a union with Hitler's Germany. Hitler threatened war 30 September and the Montreal Agreement without asking Czechoslovakia. Britain and France gave the southern land to Germany.
In 1921, a new alliance was formed. Great Britain and the French were the ones in control. The U.S. didn't enjoy it because they lost too many men. The League of Nations was too weak because the U.S. was not in. The nation pleased Hitler to prevent conflict, but Hitler rose to power and they were weaker by the hour.
Hitler and Stalin signed a pact. They'd split up Poland, they'd have each other's backs. The Nazi-Soviet pact, 1 week before the Poland attack.
The invasion of Poland happened in 1939. If you were a Jew, it wasn't a good time. Germans and Russians on both sides. If you did not run, you might have died. Hitler came in and he was really mad. He thought the Jews took his land. Stalin's army was already there, waiting for them to take their share. They didn't ask, the Poles cared, but yet Hitler and Stalin got their share.
It all started in 1941. Hitler put the Jews in the ghettos. They were very sad. They wanted to go back. They put walls around the city so they wouldn't escape. They got all the old people and threw them away. People were very hungry and very weak. The Nazis got the young people and put them in the army.
The Axis and the Allied powers were the ones that fought in this war. Listen what I gotta say and I'll tell you more. The Axis powers were made of three: Italy, Japan, and Germany. To put up a fight, the Allies had to unite. Britain, France, and the USA. Russia even came to help save the day.
December 7th, 1941. You might not remember what was done. Normal day for the USA. Not until Japanese destroyed the day. Bombs were dropping without a say. Planes flying, people dying. That was horrifying. Pearl Harbor was the starter that got of World War II that started to progress. With 2 atomic bombs heading their way, once they hit, Japan would decay.
D-Day, the invasion of Normandy. Allied forces, Britain, America, and Canada, attacked France, and it gained a victory. It was a turning point for World War II. It was the largest invasion in history.
On May 8, 1945, the Allies accepted Germany's surrender. About a week later, Adolf Hitler had committed suicide. Europeans celebrate this victory, also known as V-Day, but World War II is still active with Japan.
The Manhattan Project was the name for the research and development program for the atomic bomb. It started, but as the atomic bomb became more real, the United States said, "What's the deal?" So they added funding to be sure that they were the first to get this deal and make it real. Ironically, many of the scientists involved making the bomb had defect from Germany. You heard me? By the end of the project, funding had reached $2 billion. That's 1,001 millions, and there were around 200,000 people working on the project. The Allies used the atomic bomb on Japan. They wanted to end the war and the fighting. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were both attacked. Over 100,000 lay dead. It was so jacked.
September 2nd, 1945, World War II officially came to an end, leaving the Allies on top.
January 1933, the Holocaust began. Hitler came to power, 1 million children dead. 1933 through 1935, 11 million men, women, and children died. 6 million were Jews. Nazi Germany, aided by its collaborators. Nazis built the camps in Germany for political opponents.
World War II is over. Millions of lives were lost. We can never forget the Holocaust.